Hello and welcome to our elections special here at Boom. It's US elections simplified. So we're asking very basic and simple questions, and our focus really is on explanation. It's not on speculation, it's not on declaring any results. And we've been speaking to a number of interesting guests. Let's now talk to Arun Giri. He's an election enthusiast or an election nerd. Arun, welcome to Boom.
Thanks so much, Venkatesh. Always a pleasure to be, speaking
And
to you.
always a pleasure to listen to you speak. At this point in time, I think we have something like 227 for Biden and 213 for Trump. The show is not over. The winner has to get 270 electoral college votes. So I thought we could have a little bit of fun looking at some of the interesting numbers and statistics that have come out. But my first question to you right now is, at this point in time, which is more interesting, the American election or the Bihar election, of which two phases are already over?
I've all, I, as you said, I am an election nerd, and I've been since my school days, more than 22 years back. But trust me, I have not even seen the turnout in the VR elections. When it's US election time, it's only US for me, and this is my sixth election. The 2000 Bush Gore one was the one which gave me sleepless nights. 2004, you had Bush Kerry again. It went into overtime, Ohio. 2008 and 12 were easy Obama wins relatively. 2016, Trump Clinton again was called Wednesday around 11:45 in the morning India time when Pennsylvania was called for Trump. This one, though, Venkatesh has been a big surprise. Quite honestly, I have always prided myself to have got every US election right, though I have got many Indian elections wrong. Uh, but this one I thought would have been was a Biden landslide, and it isn't. The closeness of the election and the ease with which Trump has put away some of the states, especially Florida, is quite stunning. And if we speak of data, Venkatesh, one data that's really caught me, when Trump won against Hillary Clinton last time, you almost got a feeling that it was a least common denominator vote. That
Right.
who was more acceptable or less unacceptable to the voters, because in quite a few states, including Michigan, including Wisconsin, you name some of these Rust Belt states, and the votes that Trump got were less than what George W. Bush got in 2004 against Kerry, including, I think, Ohio. George W. Bush got a bigger chunk of the conservative vote, the middle America vote, than Trump got against Hillary Clinton. This, though, has been a big surprise. For Trump to have got a million votes more in Florida than what he got 4 years back in against Clinton. If anyone had asked me, I would have bet whatever little wealth I have, whatever little money I have, I would have bet everything, saying that is not possible.
That's very interesting. And it's also interesting, of course, that you got the 2016 election right in the United States. Now, I want to focus on a few states here, and also this other aspect of the US elections that are perhaps not clear or not clear to non-Americans, which is that, we have three tranches of voting. You have people who voted on election day, that was yesterday. And then we had people who voted in person but not on election day. And you had people who voted by postal ballot or by mail, as they call it in the United States. And it seems like all three of them are slightly different demographics, and they're all voting for, different candidates.
For a simple reason, that historically the Republicans have had the advantage in the absentee vote, or vote by mail. But this time, two things happened. One is the pandemic, because of which a lot of Democrat voters, especially the minority voters who vote otherwise on election day, the African American, the Hispanics, the younger voters, all of whom vote usually on election day, switch to absentee ballot. Number one. Number two is that the Democrat base did not want to take a chance with election day voting, considering the noise that President Trump made about all the rigging in Philadelphia, in Detroit, in Milwaukee, and so on and so forth. The base was motivated to cast a vote before election day. And number three, with President Trump actively discouraging mail voting, and even saying in the second debate that it's nothing but fraud, the vote by mail. A lot of Republican voters who historically vote by mail decided to vote either in person early or on election day. So that's why the difference you see. But look at the difference. In the counting, you notice a difference between the early vote count and the election vote count. But this time
Yes.
it's completely different. You have an early vote count in person, election vote count, and an early vote by mail count, which has trended Democrat by 3 or 4 to 1. Look at Milwaukee, which has almost put Biden over the top in Wisconsin, unless you have a recount. He's leading by 20,000. You had the last batch of 170,000 votes in Milwaukee, and he won almost 80% of that. That's like a chartbuster
Yeah, yeah,
performance.
yeah. Yeah, it's like it's now gone. You want to use an IPL analogy. We are now in Super Over 1 and Super Over 2, and then it looks like it's still going down to the wire. Arun, I want to talk about some of these numbers, but one thing that I've seen is that voter suppression is a big concern in the United States elections. And so I want to ask you, from your, what you've been tracking, has voter suppression been a big issue this time? And how does it square off against the fact that it looks like it's a record turnout overall
Voter
in the United States?
It is, and voter suppression has always been an issue. With competing claims from both sides that one side is trying to suppress turnout of minorities, and another side is trying to rig the votes in the big cities. So it's been competing claims, but quite honestly, you look at the turnout; it's off the roof. If someone had said that Florida would get us 1.1 million votes, that's 20% more than what we got last time, which was 9.3 million. Michigan almost, we are going to have 5.2, 5.3 million. North Carolina 5.5, 5.6 million. It's just incredible. The turnout has been off the charts. Pennsylvania, we are potentially looking at a turnout of 6.7 to 6.8 million votes, as against the 6 million votes we had last time. So in every which way, the turnout has been off the roof. The only mistake some people made, including me, in the enthusiasm of supporting Biden, is that we felt that, or at least I definitely felt that's such a record-breaking turnout would disproportionately favor Joe Biden. I did not see this sort of a Trump vote coming. I think whichever way this goes, and right now Biden has an upper hand in Wisconsin and Michigan and Arizona, clear upper hand. So let's even if this goes the other way, the performance that Trump has come up with, sheerly in terms of the numbers, in terms of the way he's put some big states away, just shows the base that he's cultivated among a cross section of the
Right.
voters.
All right. I'm now going to toss you a googly or a slightly provocative question, and maybe in comparison to India. Now, we Indians, we've now become completely and totally used to the electronic voting machine. And of course, in the United States, it's for the large part, it is paper ballots. And we have an election commission, but the United States don't have an election commission. So it's, different people who are calling the election. It's the media that calls the election. When you compare the two systems, do you think India has a lot to learn from the United States, or is it the other way around, that the United States can learn a lot from India? Because complicated as the American election is, it can't be easily gamed or hacked either.
Very tough to say. It depends on how much faith you have in the integrity of the election. As you said, in US, every state, within every state, every county, within a county, like Milwaukee, the municipality, some municipalities also run the elections in a particular manner. So, as you said, to game it is difficult. It has its own advantages, own disadvantages. The voting gets over at 7 o'clock, and by 11 o'clock in the night, you have a result. Unlike in India, where results come after a month, 2 months, 3 months. in a general election, in an assembly election, in a large state spread over 6 weeks, and also it depends on how you look at it. According to me, we have a very, very long way to go. When it comes to conducting elections, of course, we
With
can pride
integrity, you mean?
ourselves. No, not the integrity, but just the way we conduct it. The fact that
Right.
we still have to conduct an election over 6 and 8 phases in some big states. I mean, you got to get it done in a day, and once you're done, you've got to count it the same evening, like US does. What is it that you wait for 7 days, and then exit polls have a field day? This is, I don't know. I'm just not able to understand. This multi-phase voting. We've got to someday get into a situation, have the confidence of having at best 2 or 3 phases of election for parliament, and single
Right.
phase for any state election.
That's interesting. This is something that we can learn from them. They can learn from us. It's always interesting to look at elections from another perspective. Also, we can nerd out or geek out on how France conducts its elections and how Britain conducts its elections. But, I'm going to ask you one final question, Arun. You have been looking at elections since 2000. You made predictions. You said you didn't get it right this time. But right
No,
now,
I
more
did
than
get it right. I did get it right in terms of if Biden wins, he was winning it. So it would be 6 time in a row, right? Hopefully. But
fair enough.
in terms of I thought it
I'm
would be a
going to ask
landslide.
you to make a prediction right now, as a number watcher, or if you don't want to tell us exactly what are the big numbers you're looking at. It's, of course, we're looking at those 5 states: Wisconsin, Michigan, and
According to me,
Pennsylvania.
Wisconsin and Michigan, unless something changes in the recount, are in for Biden. In Arizona, there just aren't enough votes left for Trump to make a comeback. Most importantly, the Associated Press, the AP, which is usually conservative in making projections, has also called, apart from Fox News, AP has also called Arizona for Biden. In Clark County, the most famous journalist there, who's never got an election wrong, John Ralston of Nevada Independent, his own website, he's predicted that he's saying 20,000 votes are left in Clark County, which is a Democratic county. So there again aren't enough votes left for Trump to erase the 8,000 vote lead that Biden currently has. Unlikely that Nevada will go the other way. So what do you have left? Pennsylvania and Georgia. As I see it, if I extrapolate the current numbers and see where the votes are left in Georgia, there are two big counties, DeKalb County and Fulton County. One county, Fulton, where Biden is polling 72%, and DeKalb, where he's polling 83%, which is heavily African American as well. So if there are still 150,000 votes left, as per my count, there are, then Georgia too could go the Biden way. If Georgia goes the other way, then it's game, set, and match over. If Georgia does not go the other way, and Trump somehow manages to hold on to his 100,000 vote lead, or somehow manages to eke out a 30,000 vote win, then you'll have a long haul in Pennsylvania, and that could go to the courts. If Pennsylvania,
Yes.
where Trump is currently leading by 620,000, which is down from the 750,000 yesterday night or this morning. If that goes down the wire, which it could, because now all the remaining votes, 1.4 million as per CNN, are mail vote by mail, and they are trending roughly 3-1, 3-1 Democratic so far in
Right.
Pennsylvania. That's
So, so
small.
for, so for their mental health and many people's mental health, it would be easy if this is over a little sooner than going to the courts for Pennsylvania.
But, but,
On
but, but,
that
but the reason why it would get over quickly is because these states and the counties which are remaining, even they know that if they do not finish the count quickly, then this will go to the courts. And some of them, are in suburbs which favor Biden. They would want to finish off the count quickly, and which is why they have not slept the whole night. They're working in shifts. Places like Detroit, they've not taken even a 10-minute break.
Right, and it looks like you've not slept either. So I hope you get a good night's sleep tonight.
Not at all. I'll be up whole night looking at Pennsylvania.
All right. On that note, we'll end this conversation. But it's been a
Pleasure.
pleasure, Arun Giri. Thanks
Yeah.
so much for being with Boom.
Thanks. Thanks for inviting me.